So Poetik Flakko just exposed the absolute meltdown that Chud the Builder's team and his PR representative are having on social media right now, because they're upset about the fact that Flakko has been consistently making videos about the Chud situation and continuing to expose the truth about what happened during that courthouse shooting back in May. Chud's team is completely unraveling and spiraling out of control because they can't stop Flakko from talking about the case, and they can't silence him, and they can't get him to back down no matter how hard they try to bully him or harass him online. And that's driving them absolutely crazy, to the point where they're having legitimate manic episodes on social media and posting rambling nonsense that doesn't even make sense. What happened is that someone from Chud's PR team, a person named Ricky Cisco, who goes by Richard Cisco, reached out to Flakko privately through direct messages.
He hits me up begging me to turn over the material, demanding I give him all the information, and I told him no. Why would I do that? I'm not giving you a goddamn thing. So then he responded back with the usual bigotry, with the expected racism, and he goes, "It's more likely you'll get shot by some other black guy over fried chicken, just going by statistics." And then he follows up with, "I'm white." So I said, okay, thank you for another banger YouTube video, okay? I'm just make a video about this and, reveal everything, right? Reveal our DMs.
And started demanding that he hand over all the footage and material that he has regarding the Chud situation, claiming that Flakko is profiting off of Chud's misfortune and exploiting the case for views and money, and that somehow Flakko is responsible for Chud's legal troubles. But the reality is—
Quote me, right? He goes, Poetik Flakko says, "If I had a video that could help Chud, I would go to jail before I turn over that video." He follows that with, "I do got a video that could actually hurt your case." There doesn't this right here debunk this first sentence of yours? You goes, Poetik Flakko admits on stream to having a video exonerating Dalton. And then you follow that up with, Poetik Flakko
is that Flakko has been doing actual investigative journalism and breaking news on this situation, and he has the original footage from the courthouse incident because he either obtained it first or broke the news about it first to the public. And he's been the one releasing all the evidence and documentation to the public that has informed everyone about what actually happened during that shooting and what the real facts are. Flakko provided the video of Chud being carried off from the scene. He provided footage of the victim being attended to by first responders and paramedics. He provided video of Chud talking to the police and giving his statement. He provided footage of Chud's actual wound from the incident, and basically nearly all of the documentation that exists publicly about this shooting came from Flakko first, because he had access to the original materials and he made the effort to investigate and report on the case comprehensively. So when Ricky Cisco reaches out and demands that Flakko turn over all his materials and footage and stop making videos about the case, Flakko rightfully tells him absolutely not, and says he's not going to hand over anything because he's an independent journalist, and he has the constitutional right to report on public events and criminal cases that are matters of public interest and concern. But instead of accepting that answer and understanding that Flakko isn't going to be intimidated or bullied into silence, Ricky Cisco responds with absolute vitriol and pure racism, telling Flakko something like, "It's more likely you'll get shot by some other black guy over fried chicken. Just go by statistics," which is not only racist, but is also threatening and hostile and completely unacceptable behavior from someone who claims to be a professional PR representative. Then Ricky adds, "I'm white," as if that somehow justifies what he just said, or makes it acceptable to send racist messages and threats to someone, or as if his race is some kind of excuse or explanation for why he's engaging in this behavior. This is the kind of message that shows Flakko exactly what kind of person he's dealing with and what kind of team is backing Chud. And it gives Flakko the perfect ammunition to expose who these people really are and what their true values and character are. Flakko obviously uses that as content and makes a video exposing these racist messages and revealing exactly what Ricky Cisco is really about and who he is and what kind of behavior he's engaging in. And that's when Ricky Cisco absolutely loses his mind and starts having what appears to be a full manic episode on social media, tweeting out entire novels and manifesto-like posts and angry rants attacking Flakko and making wild accusations about what Flakko is doing and saying and claiming. Ricky Cisco starts writing out these long rambling posts where he's trying to quote Flakko and twist his words to make it seem like Flakko is admitting to things he never said or contradicting himself in his statements about the case. But every single time Ricky tries to quote Flakko, he ends up debunking his own argument because he can't even get the quote straight, or he's quoting things out of context in ways that actually prove the opposite of what he's claiming. Ricky Cisco starts claiming that Flakko is sitting on exonerating evidence that could help Chud's case, and that Flakko is deliberately withholding it to help the prosecution and ensure a guilty verdict, trying to paint Flakko as someone who's helping to imprison an innocent man for views and money and engagement on social media. But then, in literally the next post, he contradicts himself by saying that Flakko has evidence that would hurt Chud's case. And Flakko points out that Ricky is literally arguing both sides at the exact same time and destroying his own credibility by making contradictory claims in the same social media rant. This guy spelled Chud's name wrong multiple times in his own angry rant. He's making arguments that directly contradict each other within the same thread of posts. And he's clearly falling apart emotionally because he's so angry and upset about the fact that Flakko is making significant money off content about the Chud case and continuing to report on it without any concern for Chud's team's request that he stop. What really set Ricky off and what really triggered his complete meltdown was finding out that Flakko made $122,000 in the last 28 days.
This is just sad, man. And boy, that $122,000 that I made in the last 28 days talking about Chud got their blood boiling. Oh, it got them mad. Now, this idiot spelled Chud's name wrong right here, but he goes, Poetik Flakko says, Chad, bro, you are just not the smartest person in the world, bro. Chud got to get a new representative, man. Somebody who at least knows how to spell his name. So he goes, then he pulls up his YouTube monetization on camera and he says, Chud, you made me $122,000 in the last 28 days. And did we make 6 figures a month off you? And does you mad, son? Is you mad, son? You YouTube biggest, man, got the wrong hustle, man. Y'all on Twitter cloud chasing and ruining y'all lives, ruining y'all earning potential for life over a $73.28 Twitter monetization check.
Just making videos about the Chud situation and reporting on the case. And that absolutely infuriated him because apparently Ricky and Chud's entire team thought they could stop Flakko from covering the case if they harassed him enough and tried to bully him into submission online. But what they didn't understand and what they completely miscalculated is that Flakko is not the type of person who backs down from bullying or intimidation or threats. And the more they attack him and the more angry they get and the more desperate their tactics become, the more content Flakko creates and the more his audience grows and expands and the more money he makes from creating content about this situation. So Ricky Cisco inadvertently became the reason that Flakko's channel is absolutely blowing up and making hundreds of thousands of dollars in monthly revenue, which is absolutely hilarious when you think about it. And it's probably what's really driving Ricky completely crazy at this point in time. Do you think Flakko should keep making videos about the Chud situation and continue exposing what's happening with the case and the legal proceedings? Or do you think he should back off and let things play out in the legal system without all the constant media attention and commentary and public discussion about it? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this is a genuine debate about media responsibility and journalistic ethics, and whether content creators should be covering ongoing criminal cases that are still being prosecuted and haven't reached verdict yet. What makes this entire situation so pathetic and so revealing about Chud's team is that Ricky Cisco is trying to play the victim and claim that he's genuinely concerned about justice and due process and the right to a fair trial.
Fine to your bigotry. What you doing all this crying for? What's up with all this crying? He goes, the irony is that Dalton Etherly never wished anything like this on anyone. The same Dalton Etherly, aka Chud the Builder on X, who said the grand finale to his cloud chasing expedition will be leaving a black man dead on the pavement. That's the guy who didn't wish this. But look at all this crying, bro. Cut the sympathy act, bro. We not listening to this. Look at this nonsense. Universal principles and basic morality. Good luck convincing anybody with a brain that Chud going around calling black people the N-word with a hard R was him teaching a class on basic morality. Yeah, okay, buddy. Good luck. Man, cut the sympathy act, bro. We not buying it. And look at this. Flakko, the man who claims to oppose him, just demonstrated on camera that he believes in no standards at all. That due process is disposable when the defendant is someone he hates, and that a wrongful conviction is a acceptable outcome if it funds his lifestyle. Cry harder. Cry harder
for his client. But he's the one who's been sending racist messages and trying to bully a black man into silence and compliance. He's the one who's engaged in targeted harassment campaigns against Flakko and tried to discredit him and undermine his credibility. And he's the one who attempted to destroy Flakko's reputation by reposting old lies and debunked conspiracy theories about his past that have nothing to do with the Chud case. Ricky kept claiming that Flakko had been convicted of gross imposition in Ohio and that he was a rapist and a criminal who had committed serious crimes. And he kept—
This is where I thought we had him. I said, bro, I'm about to announce we are suing this dude. We about to make like $1 million off the content of documenting each and every step of suing this guy. This finna hit. I thought I had him because he essentially made the mistake that every Poetik Flakko hater makes. I cooked them on YouTube really badly. They get really pissed off because they got exposed. So then they go on YouTube looking for any dirt on me. I lived a pretty clean life. You can't really find any dirt on me. So then they run across fake lies about me. They reiterate or repost those fake lies to get back at me for cooking them. And then once I show those fake lies or lies, this is not true, they then issue a retraction, right? And beg me not to sue. So this dude went through the entire cycle of a Poetik Flakko hater within 30 minutes. So he goes, Poetik Flakko was convicted of gross imposition, which is essentially rape of someone, drugged a minor or by force. They tried to deport him back to Liberia, but Liberia would not accept him. Liberia is an ish-hole of ish-holes, wouldn't take this animal back. So, like, clearly this is not me, right? He reposted the title lies that my name is David Jala. I was convicted of gross imposition of 4th degree in Ohio. Now, clearly, you even read the comments. The comments is like, bruh, like this is not Flakko. Like Flakko has already debunked this. This is like a relative of Flakko. You are a freaking liar, right? But this is the same title lies they have told before. So when he repeated this, I thought, we got a lawsuit. Oh, you are out of here. You are gone. But this coward folded quicker than probably anybody I've ever went back and forth online with. So I began a process to line this dude up to eventually sue him, because if somebody runs a media page or if they count as like a media figure, you have to send them a notice saying, hey, what you posted is incorrect. Here is the truth. I'll plan on suing you if you don't take it, right? Now, instead of wasting an entire cease and desist on this dude, I sent him a DM and said, hey, my name is not David Jala. I've never been convicted of gross imposition. If this is not deleted and a retraction issued, I'll be forced to pursue you legally for the damage you caused, right? Because this is just a flat out lie.
Reposting these false claims, even though they had already been debunked multiple times by Flakko, and even though the actual convictions belonged to Flakko's brother David, not to Flakko himself. The fact that Ricky was spreading false criminal accusations about Flakko and attributing crimes to him that he didn't commit is not just dishonest, it's actually defamatory and is illegal because it damages Flakko's reputation and credibility and could harm his ability to make a living and sustain his career. This is exactly the kind of thing that people can be sued for. And Flakko had every right to take legal action against Ricky for spreading these false claims about him. When Flakko found out that Ricky was deliberately spreading false information about him and attributing crimes to him that he didn't commit, Flakko immediately sent him a cease and desist notice and warned him that if he didn't retract the false claims and delete the posts immediately, Flakko would proceed with legal action against him for defamation and would take him to court and seek damages for the harm caused by the false accusations. Flakko was genuinely hoping that Ricky would double down and keep pushing the false narrative and keep spreading the lies so that Flakko would have absolutely clear grounds to actually sue him and take him down legally in court and win a significant settlement or judgment. But instead of doubling down and giving Flakko the opportunity to sue him, Ricky immediately folded and issued a retraction without any fight, admitting that the conviction belonged to his brother David and not to Flakko himself, and that he had made an error in his reporting. This showed Flakko that Ricky knows exactly what he's doing is wrong and illegal, and that he's absolutely terrified of actual legal consequences and having to go to court and defend himself against charges of defamation and spreading false information, which is why he backed down so quickly when faced with the threat of a lawsuit and legal action. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel because we're going to keep breaking down these kinds of situations where people try to use harassment and intimidation and false accusations
that got dismissed. I wouldn't give a damn. There was a point in Black YouTube where people were filing lawsuits on Pacers, like literally doing it themselves under like pseudonames, just so the person could respond back and they could make a video about how they op got sued, but the whole time it was them suing they op. Once I learned how to counter that, how to appeal that, how to get that thrown out easily, man, I stopped hiring counsel and started doing it myself. They got so creative, they started suing nicknames for you. So you couldn't really combat it because what can you respond to if it's a nickname for you? So these people were absolute trolls. I stopped entertaining the trolls. But this right here is what I care about. Woo! He messed up now. All right, so this dude, one, he thinks that telling people to falsely report my channel for things that it does.
To silence people who are reporting the truth and exposing what's really happening in high-profile cases. Subscribe if you want to stay informed about how these dynamics work and how people with resources and power try to shut down legitimate criticism and journalism through harassment campaigns and spreading false information about the people doing the reporting and the investigation. But what really got serious and what really pushed Flakko to take action was when Flakko realized that Ricky's harassment campaign was becoming increasingly more aggressive and increasingly more targeted and increasingly more coordinated. And Flakko decided at that point that he needed to take real legal action to stop it before it escalated further into something more dangerous or more physically harmful or more damaging to Flakko's life and livelihood. Flakko is calling on his community and asking for genuine help from people in the Detroit and Ann Arbor, Michigan areas who are activists and respected voices in their communities to help organize a peaceful march where they can collectively serve Ricky Cisco with a cease and desist notice.
Now my palms all day, bruh. So I hit him with the, so I admitted I have video that could exonerate Chud. Oh, really? Well, all right, be careful. You can't afford to get sued right now, bud. All right, the footage I have confirms Chud is guilty. Make that flat out defamatory claim again and I'll come after you legally. Let's play ball and see how this goes.
And send a clear message to the broader community that harassment and bigotry and racial hatred and targeted intimidation are not tolerated in their area and won't be accepted without consequences. What Flakko is doing here is using the exact same constitutional rights and freedoms that Chud's team claims to be defending, which is the right to free speech and the right to engage in public protest and demonstration. If Chud's team believes that people have the right to say hateful things and antagonize people in the name of free speech, then they should also accept that Flakko has the right to expose Ricky Cisco's behavior and to organize his community to stand against harassment and intimidation.
The person who has started this targeted harassment campaign against me, his name is Ricky Cisco, and it's short for Richard Cisco. This is day one of his targeted campaign against me.
The difference is that Flakko is not going to Ricky's house to harass him or calling him names or sending him racist messages. Flakko is organizing a legal, peaceful, lawful protest march to serve legal documents and make a statement about what is and isn't acceptable in the community. Flakko is planning to work with local law enforcement and make absolutely sure that everything they do is legal and above board and follows all the proper procedures and protocols. And he's asking for people in the Michigan area to reach out to him if they can help rally community members to participate in this peaceful march and help serve Ricky with the cease and desist notice and show solidarity with Flakko against this harassment. Flakko is not trying to harm anyone or encourage violence or retaliation against Ricky. He's just trying to use the same legal tools and legal mechanisms that are available to everyone else to protect himself from ongoing harassment and to hold someone accountable for spreading false information and engaging in targeted harassment campaigns against him, and trying to damage his reputation and livelihood. What's interesting and what's really revealing about this whole situation is that it shows exactly what kind of people Chud's team really is and how far they're willing to go to try to protect their client and silence people who are exposing the truth about his case and what actually happened during that incident. They're willing to send racist messages and threats. They're willing to spread false accusations and criminal charges that are completely made up. They're willing to engage in targeted harassment campaigns and coordinated efforts to discredit and intimidate someone. And they're willing to try to bully someone into silence using fear and intimidation tactics and social media attacks. But what they didn't account for and what they completely miscalculated is that Flakko is not the type of person who can be bullied into silence. And instead of backing down and stopping his coverage of the case, he used their own behavior and their own messages as evidence against them. and he's now taking real legal action to stop the harassment and hold Ricky accountable for his actions. The broader point here that's really important to understand is that Flakko is making completely legitimate content about a matter of significant public interest and concern, and he has every constitutional right to do so without fear of harassment or retaliation or threats from the defendant's team or his representatives. Chud shot someone at a courthouse in front of multiple witnesses. It is an ongoing criminal case with serious charges. The public absolutely has a right to know what's happening with the case, and content creators like Flakko have the constitutional and legal right to report on and analyze and discuss these public events without having to worry about being harassed or threatened or have false accusations made against them by the defendant's team. This entire situation is ultimately about protecting press freedom and protecting people's ability to speak truth to power and report on what's happening without fear of consequences or retaliation or legal threats. It's about defending the right to hold powerful people accountable when they do wrong, and it's about making sure that people can't use harassment and intimidation tactics to suppress legitimate reporting and journalism. Ricky Cisco and Chud's team are trying to do exactly that. They're trying to use intimidation and false accusations to silence Flakko, and Flakko is standing up and pushing back and using the legal system to protect himself and his right to report on this case. Peace.